This video has been made available thanks to 42nd Street Photo. Celebrating over 50 years of service in the photography and video industry, check out their full line of products at 42photo.com. What's up, Geeksters? It's me, Omar from geeksterlabs.com. How are you guys doing today? Today I have another video review in our series of EOS Canon 70D videos. Since this product and this camera is so feature rich, I just decided to kind of break up all the different things I wanted to focus on in the camera and put it into separate videos instead of having one big, huge 30-minute video. So this video is going to be focusing on the button layout and the actual physical aspects of the camera itself. And I've already done a video of the unboxing of this camera. I did another video focusing on the Wi-Fi capabilities and another video with some sample video and photo footage taken with this camera and just giving you a demonstration of the new dual pixel CMOS autofocus sensor that this camera is now touting. So let's get into the walk around of the camera itself. Basically, the camera is real similar to any of the other Rebel EOS Canon cameras that DSLRs that they've offered. It's mostly plastic, but it does feel very solid, and it does have some really nice grips on it as well. So in the usual places where you place your thumbs in the front as well, it's like a nice rubberized. It kind of looks like faux leather, but it has a really good grip to it. And it is a little bit heavier than, like, say, for example, a T5i, T4i. A little bit heftier. This is the 18 to 55 lens, so it's not the larger lens. Obviously, the 18 to 135 is going to be a little bit heavier, but it does feel like a slightly heavier camera body. So it's a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier, a little more plastic. I believe it's a little bit taller than some of the other ones as well. So that's just one thing to take into account. For those of you that may be familiar with the Canon EOS 60D, this is the one replacing that camera. There are some different things that they've added and some slight tweaks they've made to the button layout as well. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, guys, let's talk about the button layout. So starting with the very top right here, we have the shutter button, the most important button of the whole camera, same spot as usually is. We do have a new button right here. This is the autofocus area selection mode. And so let me show you what that looks like on the back screen right here. Let me switch this back into manual, just so it gives us all these different options that we can view on the back of the screen. So this is also, this shows us the new 19-point autofocus, which is very nice. So as you can see here, we can switch to different focusing on specific manual selection right there. And then we have zones as well. So in the center, left, right, up, down, those different types of zones, or the 19-point autofocus, which is very nice and very impressive as well. So that's the new AF area selection mode right there. So that's what that button does. Of course, we do have the traditional little dial here, the main dial, and this is something that we use to tweak different options and settings. That's typical on most of the EOS cameras. So here we have some buttons right here. This is the illumination button, the LCD light. So since we do have an LCD screen right here, if you are shooting at night or in low light, you need to be able to see what settings are showing or being displayed right there. That's what you would use that button for. After that, we have the metering mode as well. So here we can switch between, we can spot metering, partial metering, evaluative metering, or go back to center weighted average. Pretty nice. Then we have the ISO button, and you can, like I'm going to show you here with our touch screen, our LCD touch screen, we can actually tweak this like that, or you can use the dial to find the perfect ISO rating. Next button we have is the drive mode button, and that basically lets you go from continuous, high-speed continuous, which is actually really nice. It does 7 frames per second, which I have a demonstration of that in my my other feature video showing the camera video and the photo footage. And next after that, we have the AF mode. So we go from one shot, AI focus, autofocus, and then AI servo. So those 4 buttons right there. So we're gonna stick with one shot. There we go. So once you're there, we have the LCD screen, which is really nice and handy. It kind of gives you all the different settings. It shows you the battery life, shows you if the Wi-Fi is turned on. And of course, you can see the settings on the back of the camera as well. But if you wanted to save some battery life, you can also turn off the screen so it doesn't display this information. And we'll just display it on top right there so you can just see all the different things you need to be able to see right here. Okay. One of the new options and settings that they've actually changed from the 60D to the 70D is the switch right here. So now whenever we want to go to movie mode and to go from stills to shooting videos, you just flip that switch right there, and now that's what will automatically switch. And so then the start and stop, obviously if it's in video mode, that's what starts recording. When you're on stills for photos, you press that, it'll go into live view mode, which is really nice as well. So you can tweak all your settings and see exactly what everything looks like right on the screen before you take the actual picture. So that's actually pretty nice right there. So that's something that's different. So the next button that we have over here, the AF on, and so this is what the autofocus start button right there. And so the next one next to that is the AE lock, FE lock button. This also doubles as an index and the reduce button as well. And then we have the AF point selection. And this also doubles as the magnify button. So when you're in live view, I'm not sure if you can tell, there you go. So when you want to make sure you focus up on something really closely and make sure it's in focus, you just press the, press the focus right there, and it'll zoom in to make sure whatever you're filming is nice and focus. So that's what those buttons do right there, okay? Also on the side, we have the SD card slot. Traditional SD card slot as normal. Now that we have some higher video capabilities, I kind of wish that this was a dual SD card slot, but no, it's a traditional regular card slot that you've come to expect from Canon's DSLRs. So now we have the Q button here, which is the quick control button. I believe that's in a different spot right now, and then the play button is right below that one for viewing your videos and pictures you've taken. Below that we have the quick control dial, and then we have the multi-controller. So this actually has some really nice tactile feedback. It doesn't feel like it's too loose. It has a nice click to it, so that's real nice. And the up and down, left and right of the controller is real nice as well. And obviously the center buttons for the settings. And then we have the erase button on the below right here, which is actually in the new spot. And then we have the multifunction lock. And so this is something interesting. This is a new thing that they put on there as well. And this prevents the main dial, the quick control dial, and the multi-controller from changing settings inadvertently. So if you lock it in place, you know these things won't allow you to tweak and make any changes to that stuff. So that's kind of nice as well. Of course, we have the 3-inch LCD touchscreen, which is very nice. It actually holds up really well even when you're outside and viewing, previewing images. The way the screen is designed, it does a really good job. And you can flip it out, rotate it. If you're filming yourself, you can flip it out like this as well and be able to see yourself if you're shooting videos, which is kind of nice. One thing to keep in mind though, and I'll get into this when I show the wires, but the wires do tend to block this off whenever you are filming things. If you want to see yourself while filming yourself, those wires, if you have like a microphone plugged in, that will be blocking that view. So but still though, having the capability to flip that out is pretty nice in a DSLR camera. A lot of DSLRs are actually doing that now. And then we have the menu and info buttons right here. And so these are, I believe these did get moved previously in the 60D. I think it was the trash button was over here. But now we have the menu and info buttons have moved over here to the top left. So you can't really get to it with your thumb like you used to be able to. But still, you know, it's not for me. It's not really buttons I'm constantly messing with or messing around with. And if I do need to, I have my left hand to touch them, so not a big deal. Then we have a regular on and off switch, which is traditional on most of the DSLRs. That's the Canon's basic normal type of on and off button we have right there. So one of the new things they've kind of revamped and tweaked a little bit, which I think a lot of people will be appreciative for, especially those of you that used the 60D previously, is they've redone the mode dial button. So the biggest change is for all those scene creative, those special scene options like the portrait, the sports, or the action, the landscape. All those different options. Those are now all under SCN. So here, let's go ahead and go into these. So we have the auto button, which is a scene intelligent auto. We have the flash off. So these are all traditional things you probably guys have seen before. We have the creative auto, and now we have the special scene. So if I switch it into special scene, like so. So now we have a special scene right there. I'll wait till this clears up. And so now if I press the quick button, I can actually switch between landscape, portrait, close-up, all those different types of settings that you usually had a huge dial with all these different settings on it. Well, now I just switch to that, and I can tweak them right here. And once I find the one I want, I set it, and then, well, there they go. There's all the different landscape, close-up, sports. So if you want to get to those, now it's all through one dial. So besides the basic zones, we do still have the creative zones. So we have the P for the program AE. We have the TV option here, which is the shutter priority, AV, which is the aperture priority, M, which is manual exposure, and B, which is bulb. So that's all the traditional stuff you guys are probably used to. So let's get to the side over here. And here on the side, we have the 4 ports here. So we have the microphone port, so you can plug in it with a 3.5 mic. So if you do have like a boom mic you want to attach to the top, that's a very nice handy feature to have. We have the speaker right here. The one option I wish we did have, since we can plug in a mic, but there is no headphone jack, which is something they still haven't added. I think as far as recording video on this camera, I think that's one of the features they definitely need to add to here, is having a headphone plug so you actually hear the levels, and you aren't able to actually display levels on the screen either. So that would be nice if you could see the levels, but you can make that an option to display on the LCD. We have the remote button right there. We have the HDMI input and then the AV out digital. Those 2 ports right there. So that's I think it's pretty typical on most of the DSLRs. They have those 2 options right there. Okay, flash button, lens eject button right there. That's where you pop off the lens, and then obviously the lens, depending on what kind of lens you have. This one right here is the autofocus and manual focus, so you can switch those on and off if you want to. Then we have the stabilizer on and off button as well. And then when we get to the bottom, we have the depth of field preview button, which is all the way on the very bottom right there, which is kind of awkward to press whenever you're holding it. I guess if you get used to keeping your finger down there, you can push that if you need to get to that, but that's right there as well. We obviously have our tripod screw mount and the battery pack. And so this is actually an 1800 milliamp battery pack, so it's a little bit bigger than maybe the T4i or the T5i, the smaller, or the other entry-level EOS Canon DSLRs that Canon is offering. So that's pretty much the camera itself. We have the flash on top. They have our shoe on top right here as well, where you can attach a lot of different things. And our microphone, I forgot to cover that as well. We have our stereo microphones. Not the best, especially when it's windy. It does an okay job if you're talking behind the camera. It can kind of pick you up as well, but if you're going to do any kind of real professional recording of video, you would definitely want to use either a boom or a lapel mic, which you can both plug into the mic input on the back. So overall, guys, the layout is pretty nice. The more you use it, you get really used to knowing where the button layout is, and you can switch the things really quickly. I kind of personally still like using the touchscreen, just because I mean when I'm doing stuff, I'm usually filming video from behind, so it's easy to kind of mess with that and play with the settings and stuff when you're filming videos. And then also, I love how you're able to do the touchscreen autofocus. So depending on whatever you're filming, it'll actually focus on the back here. And I give a demonstration of that in my other video, like I mentioned as well. So if I missed anything, guys, or if you have any questions about anything else on the buttons or the actual physical body itself, please let me know, and I'll just post those in the bottom in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you guys and answer those questions. But for now, that's it for me, guys, and the last video I'm going to be doing is the review, and I'm just going to kind of wrap it up and just give you guys my complete overall review of the camera and just what I think about it. I'm going to be mostly focusing on the video aspects of the camera, just because I think it's such a strong DSLR when it comes to video. And I think a lot of people will probably have the most questions about that. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video review.